So there's our first thing. Now, how much should you focus on doing this, like generally? Like, should you prioritize this above everything else?
For these guys, I personally think it's good. It's a solid setup. I mean, the thing is, you want to, like, there's no reason not to be pursuing this quest, especially for Wildwalkers, because a lot of it's what you're going to be doing anyways, right? You're going to need to search ruins, and then it's going to tell you to, assimilate a faction. You'll also be getting, like, gold and glass steel. I mean, look at this. That's fantastic. Why wouldn't you want to be doing this?
So we got 5 glass steel, and we got a titanium deposit, and we also got some 10 emeralds. So these all go in here.
Yeah.
We can actually activate the emeralds if we wanted to. It seems to be a fairly weak one, I guess, maybe.
Emeralds aren't the best unless you're... like, the 30% fortification on cities can save your butt. But other than that, they're not great.
Okay. So what do I think? Do I just... the 5% approval is like...
Yeah, the 5%
so
approval
we're at
won't
60%.
Yeah,
so even a new city is not completely happy.
No.
With no population here. Where should our population be, by the way? Like, obviously...
I would put production. I would say production is actually more powerful. Like, but you can look and see that 2 turns no matter what. So, whereas if you move the guy out of... back to food, then it's, it's all the same right now for us.
He's not going to give us any benefit.
In fact, if it's all the same for us right now, then you could actually put him on science. Because that would double our science output briefly.
That's true. So it's 3 turns to build the Founders Memorial regardless. Yeah. We might as well have him on science and get that Mill Foundry in 3 turns. Perfect.
Yeah, so this is going to be, we're going to have a strong turn 5.
So there's a little bit of balancing to be done here. See, we know we know that's coming in 3 turns, and we want to build something else. So that way we don't have to queue up an extra thing. We're going to go straight into that Mill Foundry. Mill Foundry is good because it gives you 6 industry, 15% industry as well. So yeah, that's pretty big. That's going to be pretty big for us.
It's huge for us.
Well, at what point do you think I should reunite my armies and take on this first camp? Do I want to attack them? Do I want to get quests from them? What in my starting region? What should I do with the minor faction? How soon should I consider subjugating them or joining this group back together at all?
In normal, you have about 15-20 turns before you'll start to see units spawn. In fact, I think you only have 12. Yeah, so you have some time.
So I should have kept these separate, really.
It would be better, but there isn't a ton to do off north. So why don't we head south with the whole group and start to, start to explore over there. We want to get our 4 ruins, and then for these guys, they'll have the quest to go and unify these. So we'll probably go and attack them because it looks to me like, given how strong our start is, we're not going to have time to build mercenary market or language square right away. We're actually going to be kind of kicking into high gear on turn 5.
Okay. So we found some Silics.
Oh, it's hard to kill them with this faction, but they're really, really a good duel. They're great, bricky, hit like a train. Like literally, they have a linear attack, and they are a really good complement to ranged units. So that, like, it may be worth settling this region just for that. If you hit F, we can actually see what that anomaly near their village is too. It may be so
dramatic land.
Dramatic. Well, I mean, great.
Did I say dramatic?
Yeah.
Dramatic land. It looks dramatic.
It does. Yeah. We'll have to see what strategic resources are here, but Silix alone might be worth grabbing this region for.
Well, we've only got 2 regions adjacent to us, so I'm guessing we're going to probably want to choose these 2 regards. There is a forest. Forests are good for us.
Yep.
I don't think settling down here is going to give us a lot of breathing room. This is what I'm sort of talking about with an odd-shaped region. If we were to settle here and sort of try and expand this way, we're going to be losing a lot of tiles. If we wanted to expand like a snake down here, we wouldn't be able to work these tiles. So,
right.
You have to weigh up how much of a disadvantage that is versus settling somewhere slightly inferior. If you're only going to lose like 1 tile, maybe it's not too bad. But if you're losing multiple or whatever, it might not be good at all.
Yeah, and also there's the element of multiplayer. You may have to settle with what you can get. You really want to build kind of wide with this particular faction, and you're heavily advantaged if there are the sites to do it that way. It's just the way they work.
Okay, so we're going to build our Mill Foundry.
Man, this is a good, despite the fact it didn't look like the best start, it's a pretty strong start. So we got to get that Mill Foundry queued up. And we've got 2 pop now. Let's make sure that they're assigned correctly. And we probably want to go, they shouldn't both be on science.
No.
So I don't think it matters It looks like it's time probably to get the seed storage going. I would say that's next.
So we can either build a pop in 4 or a pop in 8. We can
But
build
if we get
mill
the seed
foundry
storage, if we
in
get the
5
seed storage,
or the mill foundry in 3. Right. So we'll go mill foundry, seed storage.
Yeah.
Or do you want seed?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Look at that. That's super fantastic. I don't think it matters if you may want to keep somebody on food for now. I think that does marginally increase things and doesn't change our. Oh no, never mind. I'm totally wrong. Keep that on production.
Okay. That's what happens. But you have to test it.
Yeah.
Research-wise, what do we want to be doing? Do we want to... I mean, do you need... I guess you always are going to need certain ones. You're going to need the open pit mine at some point.
Yeah. So
you're
just
gonna
thinking
need
about it... Yeah.
the alchemist furnace at some point. But
so there's
how
two...
urgent is it?
It's not super urgent because we haven't seen any resources that we want. There's a couple priorities you want to get early on. We get sewer system for free. Sewer system is amazing,
Right.
Especially if you can find an anomaly that increases happiness by 10. Sewer system is great. I can't stress enough. And also, when you're happy, which you will be if you build a sewer system in your starting city, you get an extra influence, which is important. And you'll see that as we raise our pop, the kind of math you do to do your empire plans.
I consider influence a bit like faith in Civ. So it's a little bit like this resource where you're not quite sure whether it's good or not, but it is, and it's worth getting a point of it early.
Yeah.
And so you're saying, I guess, like, if I didn't realize how important happiness was, but I guess building the sewer system, if that's 20, suddenly you're at 80% happiness, and then another, if you can get a couple of extra bonuses from somewhere else,
like
and
buy
push
wine
that up to 90, then you're going to be getting a massive. So it's what is it, 33% production bonus? Did you say?
Yeah, and
Oh
food.
my God.
Yeah, it's huge.
And food. Wow.
Power plays. If you see a happiness boosting anomaly for your capital, you go for it.
Okay.
What we want to research here. So looking at your environment, what are we weakest on? Before we consider that, there are two things here that you can build, like you can research that don't have to be built, and that's language
Right.
square and mercenary market. So those are great to build into your starting research plan when you need a break. So when you start to build your settler, you're not going to be able to build something else immediately because you're working your settler. So you would build one of those two so that you can do your other stuff, right, and then not have to worry about slowing down to build things.
So we are going to always need mercenary market, and we're always going to need language square.
Yeah. However, in this case, I would say that our big weaknesses right now is science. We have a really, really lousy science. So it might actually make sense for us to dive right into researching our public library, which I think will give us the best returns for an Era 1 tech. That's 10 science.
Right.
Which more than doubles, 10% and -1 to city upkeep. Fantastic. And if we keep someone devoted to science, it'll come out fast. It's a little unorthodox for these guys, but that's just the nature of our start. You have to be flexible.
Yeah, so that's going to take 5 turns, and we've already know that we're going to be devoting at least 6 turns to building these 2 buildings. That means 3, but this isn't going to take 6. This is going to take another 3 afterwards. So it's cumulative. So what this means is that after 6 turns, we'll be able to build another building. And
Precisely.
Like you said, we're probably going to want science, and that's going to take 5 turns. I was thinking, if I hadn't known that, I would have thought maybe that's 9 turns to build. Therefore, I might as well research this because, I'm not going to be building anything for 9 turns. I might as well research this, and then I'm able to do something else,
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, probably if you want to queue it up, if you just click the next one, it will queue it up. I would say that then probably the titanium extractor comes next. We want to start amassing that stuff. It will make us stronger and faster.
Yeah.
And that's just generally, you need 9 techs. You just pick which ones you want. You want to go into Era 2 really strong.
So you have to, so the seed storage is obviously important because that is a big old boost of food, and that will give us more population. Each of these population are generating 4 each. So that's a good amount. And if you can start building up reliably, increasing your population, like in Civ, population is pretty big. All right, let's just keep exploring. Have a wander. So I'm going to go down and get this one. I'm going to get this one here.
There's 2 in this region. Fantastic.
And that means we'll have our 4, won't we?
Yeah.
I might as well just
30 dust.
send this over. 30 dust. Now I've got 92 dust. Should I consider rush buying something?
Never. If you're
never.
maybe, but
Right.
I in general I say no.
Okay.
So use a hero-led army to search the location on the map for blood crystal. That is pretty nice. We can't use blood crystal yet, but it's good.
So this isn't our main quest. This is a a quest that we found from a ruin. This is
Yeah.
our main quest. It's given us 10 Moonleaf. Moonleaf gives us plus 50% science and 10% happiness.
Yeah.
Do we save that?
I would save it a little bit because you can use it as soon as we get our public library out. You might want to like kick that up a notch. The thing is
Okay.
that's 50% on top of everything, right? So if you're adding pop to it, so like for example, if you get dyes or Moonleaf, you generally want to put population on it to maximize the effect of that booster.
Right. Okay. So we want to think, holy crap, let's have 10 turns of science now.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit like so this is the tier 2 one. Spread out your force and find the perfect region to colonize. Okay. So we have to found a city in a new region.
Yeah.
Easy. That quest is very straightforward. And it'll give us Quicksilver, which gives us plus XP on our units and plus happiness. Okay. Now, so what you were saying really there is linked into the influence thing. So every so many turns, is it 10 turns?
20 turns in normal. And you can click simulate to see it. You see next plan 15. Right. Yeah, and we're going to want at least...
So, for example, if you're playing as the Dust Lords, getting plus 3 gold per citizen is a very good one. The low level ones are good, but I think in many ways you have to think about Endless Legend in terms of influence plans. So much like you just said there, if you have a booster going for 10 turns to boost your science by 50%, it would be great to time it with an influence plan where you're going to have plus 20% science and put all your people on science for that amount of time. And then as soon as that runs out, you say, right, now I'm going to be building units. So you go the unit cost reduction, you use a different booster or whatever. And so if you can play and efficiently with that stuff, you can really maximize your benefits. Is that right?
Exactly. Now, for our faction, Wild Walkers, that military expansion, the 30% reduction in cost of units, is overwhelmingly strong for us because we have lots of production, 20%, I'm sorry. So think of it as like a 20% production boost when building units, right?
Right.
It's the same 6 of one, half dozen of the other. So by combining those things, we can hit an early game expansion push that will mean that everybody else will be struggling to catch up with us in terms of cities. It makes us a bit of a target, but if you got 5 cities and you lose one, not the end of the world, especially if you go through all those things. You'd have to be careful to keep track of your happiness, but we get sewer system for free and we build fast. So
yeah. So,
generally, I try to aim for at least 40 influence by turn 20 on normal so that I can do economic and military.
Okay.
I have had games where I've had 80, and I love it because then I can go for science as well. I never go for empire expansion in my first plans unless I'm playing someone who, because plus 2 vision on units is just not that useful.
No.
Compared to 20% science, 3 dust per population, or 20% unit cost reduction, it's no brainer.
Yeah. It's a non-entity. I think like with regard to influence points though, you suddenly realize how valuable they are and how having them ticking in early means you can get a big benefit out of them. And sometimes it's not clear where the influence points come from. The other thing to note about luxury resources is that they cost an amount based on. See, these are usable at the moment because I've got enough, and they cost 10. But the cost will go up the more cities you have. Now, if you're about to place a city down, you can use a booster, put the city down, and then still get the benefits from it. But it will have cost you a lot less, basically. So that's a little tip there.
Yeah. So why don't
before you settle a new city, use boosters.
Why don't we take a look at our city really quick and just make sure that we're all set up on this? Because I want to make sure that we're really moving strong here. Yeah. So we're going to want to convert. We have the opportunity here, this amazing opportunity to actually have a huge science boost early on and not lose our production in the process.
Right.
Which is really exciting for the Wild Walkers. Like this could be huge for us if we can time it right. So let's keep really cognizant of that and make sure that we have. Can't lose sight of making the influence in population though. So
yeah,
we're
only on turn 5. I'm not really pushing the turns forward. I'm glad we turned the turn timer off. My God.
Yeah. But in a multiplayer game with turn timer on, it really helps to like know these things in advance and just sort of so that you have it on autopilot. And you're like, well, everybody else is going to be struggling for time too. So you don't have to be quite as precise, but it is worth talking it out, I think, now. And you never want to mess up your empire plan. If you do, you will be so far behind.
Yeah, I've done that before. So this is the thing: if you're not careful, the game does warn you, but if you're not careful, you could spend all of your influence the turn before your empire plan.
Oh yeah, it's the worst.
You know, by declaring war or declaring peace or doing something silly in the diplomatic arena.
Well, that's the trick, right? If you spend it right before everybody's empire plan, they won't. Draken can't peace block you because they don't want to.
Ah, I see. So you can timing push a Draken based on if he knows his empire plan's coming.
Yeah.
It might be wise. At what point should I be enslaving these guys, and should I wait for parley or what? What do you think?
I mean, parley is great because you get bonus. Let's zoom out a sec. You had a quest to go use a hero-led army to search a place. We can kind of zoom out and see where that quest is. Looks like it's down there. Obviously, it's off map. We want to go down there anyways, so why don't we split up the army here? Send one guy off to the right to discover this barren-looking region, and then send the hero-led army down that way to continue to set up things. We really do want to find more of our opponents. There's 6 of them, so we should be finding them.
Okay. My bad on not paying attention to that quest.
No problem. It's not a huge quest, but it's something worth doing since we're already doing this stuff anyways.
It's pretty near. So we've got ruby cactus fields here. They look quite pretty. They're a anomaly.
Oh man, if we were Broken Lords, this would be the region already.
A geothermal pit and a massive tree. 3 anomalies. Look at that, right in close proximity.
That's almost compelling for us. Given all the production, sometimes the anomalies just add up in a way that makes it work.
Look at all the numbers. So many numbers.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So someone might be looking
That's a good region.
But the classic thing is that someone might, they might come in. This might be a big region. They might have come in from this end and seen a decent area to expand here, and suddenly, plop, this whole place will go red, and you won't be able to put your settler down, which is just about to come down.
Yeah.
But equally, there might be a much better location down there, that we haven't scouted because we thought this is great. But yeah, I suppose if there's 2 great places, it's not the end of the world if you get one of the great places.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's still going. Mill Foundry's going to complete. Again, there's not a lot to do once you've sort of made your decision from turn to turn.
Here we go. Now we got Public Library coming out in 2. Things are really strong right now for us. We're looking fantastic. Although we're at turn 8, we want to start thinking. Oh, cool.
So we've got some blood crystals. It's telling us to go here. So we're just going to keep following the quest, I guess. Just crazily running across the landscape.
But that's great because we need to do that anyways. We're going over there now to the west. No problem.
So we got some.
Meanwhile, we're scouting this way.
Glass steel in this region.
Lots of forest.
Couple of big forests. There's a couple of anomalies here. Weaver worms. Which give approval.
Oh, okay. This is a region we want then. Right there. That's a powerful. That's a glass steel, which we need. Lots of forest and weaver worms. Yeah.
So if we look at F, so how do we know what tiles which give science? Because it's quite interesting when you look at, so there's some forest with science here. Why does this forest have science? Because it's enchanted forest.
Yep.
Okay, as opposed to here where it's just a forest, or here it's a forest. So in this region, there's not a lot of science, is there at all?
No.
There's hardly any science you can see. Whereas here, does all ice have science on it?
Yes. Frozen regions are the Valter bias, and so they actually have science. And that's a pretty good region up there. Looks like there's an anomaly near there. So that's good.
Oh, for God's sake, I can't take this! Lewis!
What?
Why? Why are you doing this?
I pressed auto.
This isn't your plan, because I want to win! And now I'm getting up with Ben. You guys really fucking suck, honestly.